So congratulations on getting access to this video course where I am going to walk you through on how to build your list virally on autopilot after you have set everything up. All right, so this is video number 1, which is the introduction, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of this video course so you know exactly what to expect, and that way all the missing pieces of the puzzle are able to be placed together once you know exactly what to expect. Now, before I jump right in, I want to talk about mindset, because a lot of times when it comes to building your list, a lot of people think, I want to get the biggest list as I can. Now, I really don't want you to think about the biggest list. I really want you to think about is conversions. And what I mean by that is having a list that actually converts into sales. Now, there are different types of lists, which I'll talk about in video number 1, but really focus on conversions, not how big your list is, if that makes sense. Now let's talk about a quick overview of the video course so that you can kind of get a bird's eye view of what's inside. So obviously this is video number 1, video number 2, we're going to talk about the different types of customer lists. There are actually 2 major types, and I'll talk about that. And we're really going to focus on one particular type. Video number 3, we're going to talk about the highest converting list and how it works. So we're going to basically build upon each other. So make sure that you watch all the videos step by step, videos 1 through 9. And of course, video number 4, we're going to talk about the formula for the high value thank you offers, which fits into the overall formula. And video number 5, we're going to talk about finding vendors to piggyback on. Video number 6, we're going to talk about vendor and buyer analysis. Number 7, we're going to talk about creating quality thank you offers. And of course, video number 8, we're going to talk about building a list. So after everything we've talked about in the previous areas, we're going to talk about actual building the list as far as vendors go. And as you're waiting for vendors to say yes, we will talk about building a list as an affiliate for video number 9. All right. So now that you kind of understand the basics, let's jump right in and talk about the different types of lists. Okay, so welcome back. This is video number 2, and we're going to talk about the 2 different types of customer lists. Now, while we're focusing on just one particular path, I really want to talk about 2 major types of lists, because I really want you to get into that mindset of understanding why there are 2 different lists and why we are really focusing on just one particular one. So the 2 major ones are the free list versus the customer list. So a free list, let me explain the differences. A free list simply means that the people that are subscribed to your list have not purchased a product. So if you kind of imagine if you get onto a landing page or a squeeze page and they're asking for your name and your email and that's it. You're not buying anything. That is basically what a free list is. Now, typically, these lists are a little bit harder to convert because people do not know you. They have not really put their trust and faith in you. You know, if somebody subscribes and they've purchased from you before, that would be consistent of more of a customer type subscriber. But we're talking about people that don't know you. They've subscribed, they've gotten something for free, and that's it. So in this case, you kind of have to push quantity of lists. Instead of focusing on quality and conversions, you really have to focus on numbers. So it's a numbers game. So instead of having a list of, let's say, 100 buyers, you have to have a list of 1,000 or a couple thousand. Now, the second type of list is a buyer's list. This means that the subscriber on the list have actually purchased a product. So say, for example, somebody lands on your sales page. You're selling them something like a $7 or $17 item or whatever price point it is. They buy it or add it to your list. So that is basically a buyer's list. Now, these types of lists tend to be very high converting because they have proven that they are serious enough to whip out their wallets or their credit cards and buy a product. So think about it. Which really would you like to have? Would you rather have the free list or would you rather have the customer list? So that really depends on what you're selling, but the majority of times you will want the buyer's list. And that's really what we're going to be focusing on in this particular video course. Now, the question begs, how do you build a viral buyer's list without selling a product? Because selling a product, that takes time. And that's not necessarily getting it to build virally and getting other people to build it for you. Now, that is the secret behind this method, is you get other people to actually build the list for you. Yes, it does take time, and yes, there is some work involved, but this is the closest thing to getting to that. So with that said, let's move on to video number 3.